What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football, bringing you guys a 2016 NFL Draft Profile. Today it is Carson Wentz, the quarterback out of North Dakota State. Again, keep in mind, I cannot add highlights and video to these profiles due to copyright infringement. So let's get right into this one again. Carson Wentz, quarterback out of North Dakota State, standing at 6'6", 235 pounds. Some collegiate stats, 5,115 yards for an average of 8.4 yards per pass, 45 touchdowns passing, 13 touchdowns rushing, and 1 touchdown receiving equates to 59 total touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Some kind of highlights, awards for Carson Wentz. He's a two-time NCAA Division I champion. Championship game most outstanding player in 2015 and 2016. He's the co-SIDA Football Academic All-American of the year in 2015 and two-time co-SIDA Division I First Team Academic All-American. Now, also keep in mind, in 2015, this last season, he only played in 6 games before breaking a wrist, I believe it was. But on January 9th, 2016, he did come back and he led North Dakota State to their 5th straight FCS national championship. So that also kind of plays into, kind of note that when you're evaluating Carson Wentz, he didn't play a full season in 2015. Now, going to pros and cons, first of all, again, the size. I mean, this was with Paxton Lynch. This is also going to be with Carson Wentz. But what I did notice with Carson Wentz more than I did with Paxton Lynch was the fact that Carson Wentz ran the ball more, and there were more defenders who bounced off of Carson Wentz. When it came to lowering his shoulder as a runner, there was guys just bouncing all off of him, and it was pretty impressive. I was surprised at how mobile he was for his size. Again, I wasn't expecting, when evaluating both Paxton Lynch and Carson Wentz, to have these really big, tall quarterbacks at 6'6" and 6'7" to have the mobility that they have. So I was a bit surprised by that. Now, if I had to choose, I think Carson Wentz is a better runner. I think he did it more. He showcased abilities to even cut and make defenders miss. He showcased the ability to have guys, really bounce off of him, and he would continue the run to gain a couple extra yards. So in that respect, I thought his size played a huge factor. I thought that was a pro. Instincts, I saw times where he would make plays that were purely instinctual. I don't think instincts can be taught, or I don't think instincts can be coached. I think you just either have it or you don't. I think that was a pro. His release, I thought he has a quick release, gets the ball out when he needs to, and he does it pretty fast. And again, his mobility, which I already noted. Now, cons, I thought his ball placement, even though I think he has a career completion percentage of around 64%, I thought his ball placement at times was a bit suspect. I wasn't a huge fan. I thought his accuracy at times was off. Sometimes he'd overthrow guys, especially on the deep ball. His deep ball placement really could use some work. He has the strength, the arm strength to get it down the field. He just doesn't have the accuracy. At times it was overthrown. And then his reads. I noticed that, when you watch his head, where he's looking on the field, he always tends to look at one read, doesn't go through his progressions, and he just throws it to the first guy that he looks at. So I thought that could also be worked on. That could also be coached. Now, draft projection, believe it or not, I have him as high as 1 and as low as 15, and here's why. I have watched Goff, I have watched Wentz, and I have watched Lynch. Although I don't have a Goff video up yet, I think Wentz is number 1 on my quarterback list right now. Lynch is 2, and Goff is 3. But Wentz being number 1, it opens up, and whoever number 1 is, it depends on whether a team gets desperate enough to pull the trigger at the number 1 overall pick and trade up with Tennessee, whether it be Cleveland or Dallas, or if Wentz falls to a team like maybe Philly or St. Louis at 13 or 15. I think that's why I have this range so wide. Now that I've watched Wentz, I think Paxton Lynch's draft evaluation that I did, I don't know, however many days ago now, less than a week ago, I think his draft stock is no longer where I have it. I think it's a little bit behind Wentz. But I think Wentz could go number 1 overall only based on the fact that a team gets desperate enough. Do I think that any of these 3 quarterbacks are franchise guys? No. I don't believe they are surefire picks to be this next franchise guy who's going to step in and, just turn a franchise around. I do not believe that's going to happen. But the possibility of one of them going for number 1 overall based on desperation, I think it is possible. So, a couple of plays to watch when evaluating Carson Wentz. I wrote 3 down. There was a run and cut play against Montana in the second quarter that I thought was just fantastic. He scored a touchdown on that play. There was a deep ball against North Dakota in the third quarter that I liked. And then there was a fade in double coverage to win the game against Northern Iowa that was just fantastic. It was a beautiful play. The ball was placed. It couldn't have been placed any better. The receiver catches it for a touchdown in double coverage. So those are 3 plays I noted on Carson Wentz. But let me know your guys' comments, questions, concerns on Carson Wentz. Throw all that good stuff down. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm out.